Senhoras e senhores, bom dia a todos os presentes e a todos os que nos acompanham através da transmissão em streaming no site esgportugal.pt. Sejam bem-vindos à sessão ESG, o Desafio Futuro, da Bureau Veritas Certification Portugal. A ESG Week é uma iniciativa da Associação Portuguesa de Ética Empresarial que conta com o Banco Montepio como main sponsor e com as entidades parceiras ISO e Instituto Português da Qualidade. A ESG Week 2022 conta ainda com a parceria e apoio do Turismo de Portugal, Accenture Portugal, Global Compact Network Portugal, Grupo Bell, Grupo Jerónimo Martins, Aliança ODS Portugal, APSER, Bureau Veritas Certification Portugal, SIG, Galp, Câmara Municipal de Lisboa, Fundo de Apoio Municipal, YAPMEI Enterprise Europe Network e Pedra Base. Vamos iniciar esta sessão com Patrícia Franganito, Diretora de Certificação, HSE e Formação de Portugal, da Bureau Veritas Portugal.
Muito bom dia a todos. A Bureau Veritas Certification tem sido, ao longo de vários anos, um parceiro da Associação Portuguesa de Ética Empresarial. E, nesse sentido, os meus agradecimentos por mais uma edição desta importante semana, este ano dedicada ao tema da sustentabilidade. Se a palavra sustentabilidade já nos vinha a acompanhar há alguns anos, ela ditará o sucesso das organizações na próxima década, pelo menos. Isto porquê? Porque as organizações estão a ser incentivadas a alimentarem as suas estratégias com o foco no environment, no social e no governance. E também nesse sentido, o Grupo Bureau Veritas lançou recentemente uma linha de serviços chamada Green Line of Services. E para quê? Para poder auxiliar as organizações com soluções que vão necessitar no futuro. Que soluções são estas? Desde verificação de pegadas carbónicas, desde a certificação de sistemas de responsabilidade social corporativa alinhada com os ODS, desperdício alimentar, zero waste, apoio na eficiência energética, certificação de igualdade de género, entre outros referenciais próprios e internacionais que estamos a apoiar o mercado português. Para todas estas temáticas também sentimos a necessidade de desenvolver uma outra solução, um Green Plan, mas para a formação, com formação disruptiva nestas áreas para também capacitar os profissionais das várias organizações. Com a crescente procura de produtos e serviços alinhados com boas práticas que respeitem as pessoas e o ambiente, as organizações estão a desenvolver as suas estratégias com compromissos assentes na sustentabilidade, na economia verde e na economia circular. Também nesse sentido, o Bureau Veritas Certification desenvolveu uma gama de certificações inovadoras enquadradas no Circular Plus. A minha mensagem final para todos é que asseguramos, a partir do Bureau Veritas Certification, um compromisso e um comprometimento com o significado máximo da sigla ESG. Com todo o orgulho, também partilho que faço parte do Comitê de Responsabilidade Corporativa da Southwest Europe e o Grupo Veritas está a trabalhar um conjunto de iniciativas e ações alinhadas com os ODS 3, 5, 8, 10, 12, 13 e 16. Por último, falar-vos e dizer-vos que o programa de voluntariado que o Bureau Veritas iniciou e está a implementar, denominado Be Part of It, é um contributo para a sociedade e para o bem-estar em geral. No mundo digital que caracteriza a nossa sociedade, a reputação é uma ferramenta fundamental para as empresas que se pretendem destacar e consolidar a sua competitividade e a imagem face aos seus stakeholders. Os temas que o Bureau Veritas selecionou para esta edição foram o Clarity, um serviço que empresas como a Disney, o Auchan, os hotéis Accor já adotaram e que pode ser utilizado como um baseline ou um barómetro para apurar os níveis de sustentabilidade ou ainda um guidance de recomendações para implementação de ações. Sobre este tema, a nossa gestora de sustentabilidade do grupo, Huang, falar-nos-á nos próximos 20 minutos. Depois teremos a Clara Cunha, a nossa gestora de produtos de sustentabilidade e auditora do BVC, e que apresentará os benefícios e o processo de certificação em igualdade de género. No final, convido-vos a escutar as palavras do novo Country Manager em Portugal, Pedro Teixeira. Muito obrigada a todos, que tenham um ótimo dia.
Tem a palavra Huang, gestora de Produto de Sustentabilidade do Grupo Veritas, que se irá juntar a nós via online. We will now hear from Ms. Huang, Sustainability Project Manager of Grupo Veritas, who will join us online.
So thank you everybody for coming today, and thank you for the introduction of Patricia, even though I don't understand much of it. That I am, as mentioned by Patricia, I'll be presenting Clarity. So Clarity is a new sustainability solution that was just launched at Veritas end of last year. We're really excited about it, and we also want to showcase our thought process into why eventually we designed this solution. So I'll be sharing my screen. So, of course, I mean, all of you have been on, this conference for a week talking about ESG. So I don't think I need to dwell so much more on, the trend of ESG. More and more, both the public from the government are asking more and more of the companies to be, taking their part, be more responsible. So there's definitely a lot of, more ambitious ESG commitments popping up from all the different companies. So how are companies going to accommodate or, to show the public and the governments that, they're really serious about this topic, and to show commitment from their side. So that's why so of course, talking to many of our existing clients and new clients, we gathered these 4 main pain points when they're managing their sustainability commitments. So first, it's very time consuming. Obviously, for a few reasons, it could be, the scope of the company, if they have supply chain everywhere in the world, speaking different languages. It could be different type of stakeholders. It could be their own assets. It could be their business partners. So, it's very, very time consuming because, to the second point, it's very complex, right? So often these large organizations, they have a very complex supply chain. They might have database kind of here and there. You have data on Excel sheets and on paper. So how do you gather all of these information together to make to help you make a educational decision on this? And going on the third point, there's a lot of question on the quality of data. Of course, we know there's a lot of self-declared questionnaires out there, but since they're not verified, it is hard for the company and then for the public to know that these data, when they're collected, whether they're credible or not, and whether it's comprehensive or not. And then lastly, it is, a lot of work, and sustainably, of course, many big companies, they have a dedicated sustainability team. But what we found out is that a lot of our companies, they're looking to outsource this particular monitoring task, or this CSR expert. They want to outsource it to professional service providers like us to help them to manage that. And then, so that's why we've created Clarity. So we want to bring trust to your sustainability commitment. And this is exactly the slogan of Veritas, is that we want to shape a world of trust. So we want to accompany you on your ESG or sustainability strategy and roadmap. And what we're offering here is that we're a global company. We have 80,000 professionals in 140 countries, and we're able to help you to verify, set up their ESG goals, and then verifying them, and then with the results of the verification, help you develop a corrective action, so to help you eventually, get to the sustainability goals that you have set yourself. And having the stamp of Bureau Veritas, a credible third-party agency, that gives you a lot more credibility of the data and the actions and the decisions that you are making. So what is clarity? So there are a few sort of elements to it. First of all, I did mention about this assessment. So again, we have 80,000 employees at Bureau Veritas, many inspectors, many auditors. So we could both do an on-site audit for your own sites, or perhaps for your supply chain, or we can do we call it a self-assessment, but it is verified. So at least, of course, it also gives you another level of assurance. So we can do these on-the-ground assessments, and once we gather this information, we aggregate them into a score, and then that's where you'll see all the results from your different sites, your suppliers, all on a concentrated, on a centralized dashboard. And that's why these aggregate score really help you to make decisions and to continuously improve. So this is the dashboard I was already talking about. So, it's really easily accessible, it's digitalized. What is great about Clarity is that you can have a full picture, from the very 30,000 meter level, but also zooming in fairly quickly on a specific country or a specific site, or perhaps is a different, business unit you want to look at. That is something you could do quite easily on the Clarity dashboard. And then having all these information, this could really help you to prioritize the higher risk. So if you notice some non-conformities in a particular site on a specific topic, a sustainability topic that's really important to you, for example, child labor, you could very quickly target this non-conformity, and then work with us or work directly with your suppliers or sites to improve on those non-conformities. And I already alluded before, Clarity is quite flexible for different types of stakeholders. So you could be looking at your own, corporation. You could looking at assets. So that's probably more relevant for, let's say, building and infrastructure. We also have, a specific module on oil and gas. So there's, very equipment, very detailed level. But also you can look at their internal sites, different branches around the world, and of course, your supply chain, looking at your suppliers. So that's why it is very flexible on you trying to understand, okay, what do I need? And you could also, do it all these different, sorry, I shouldn't have, all these different sites, you could decide to look at them all together or look at them at different stages. So it is very flexible. And I alluded to the dashboard I was talking earlier. So this is, a screenshot dashboard. part of dashboard is that you can see, where all your sites are with some color coding. So you can see, there are a few sites that are green. Some of them are red based on the maturity scores they have. And another feature that we have is that we've actually mapped all the clarity evaluation with SDGs. So the UN Sustainable Development Goals, of course, now has become sort of the framework that a lot of companies and organizations are looking at sustainability. And that would help you to also communicate saying, okay, SDG 3, it's on working conditions, I've done all these steps and this is my maturity, and I'm fulfilling my SDG 3 goals. And also you can have a customized view, because again, we understand every company, they have a little bit different approach to their sustainability, so we're able to give that sort of customization. And I just want to spend a little time on the differentiations against our competitors, because we know there are a lot of players in the market. So I've been talking this, I already alluded to this, that we really want to grow with you. So it's not meant to be, a one-time, monitoring exercise and later that, we would leave. The idea is that we really want to understand your sustainability journey, how we can help them, and really design a monitoring system to accompany you on this journey. So we want to be, your partner. So that's why there is that customization part in it. And and the third part on the experts, we've been talking about ESG kind of in a very general sense, but as many of you have already worked with Veritas, you know that we have a lot of experts on, very specific topics. So here I mentioned about animal welfare and like traceability for food. This is not a topic that you'll find everywhere. But at Veritas, we have the expertise on these specific topics, perhaps is very relevant for your specific industry. So we're able to develop a evaluation system with you. And again, we have really a wide footprint all over the world. We're in 140 countries, and we're able to send auditors to almost any country in the world that you would like. And again, the customization capacity, because we understand that sustainability is a different journey for everybody, because everybody has different priorities. Everybody has a different type of maturity. So we completely understand that, and we want to be on the journey with you. So that's kind of the overview of Clarity. I will spend a little bit of time on the Clarity module. So we call them modules, but you could call them topics and everything. So what we've designed is that, as I mentioned, we want to be on a journey with you. So we have designed different modules with different depth. So we started with what we call Clarity 1. So you see these topics here are, 6, quite common ESG topics. You cover, the all ESG. So this one has less questions, a little bit more higher level, but, this is great for somebody who is not really sure, the first time they're doing some kind of monitoring system of their own ESG journey. So, they could start something really quick, have a quick diagnosis, and then, perhaps with the results of this Clarity 1, they see that, oh, perhaps health and safety, I need to pay more attention, and, let's get deeper into this topic. And so Clarity 1, is the first sort of light project, sort of topic. And then, as I mentioned, that you could dive more into these other topics that, there's a lot more questions in there. It covers more topics in there. And all of these topics, you know, we didn't invent them ourselves. Of course, we've take inspiration from international standards like the ISO standards, but also, you know, the SDGs, all the different topics in there, UN Global Compact, SMETA audits. So you can be assured that when you're doing clarity, you know, you have all of the universally recognized sustainability topics covered. I mean, we even have topics like community involvement, for example, and inclusion diversity, which, you know, some would argue is a little bit more advanced. So that's something that, you know, we also try to look at too. So I've mentioned, you know, different kind of parts of it. So in the end, clarity is a solution, right? So there's different parts that you could pick and choose to fit best for your company. I was just talking about the modules. So the modules, you know, you could pick 1, 2, 3, 4, all of it if you want. And also, you know, there's the clarity one and the rest of the standard one, so you can have a different level also. And I did mention that there were 2 types. So we do a what we call a self-assessment, but it's verified. So it's a document audit that, you know, gives you a quicker access. You know, it's going to be cheaper, it's going to be faster. So potentially you can ask more of your stakeholders to participate. And after you've done this self-assessment, you are able to make a decision from the result of the self-assessment to decide who I'm going to send an auditor, because of course we know, you know, audits, you know, it costs money, it takes time to coordinate all that. So how do Bureau Veritas help you to target and prioritize the ones that are most high risk? So that's, I think, the flexibility of clarity. And then the results, you know, I did mention about the digital dashboard already, but of course you also have a traditional sort of audit report that will be available for you in a PDF format. And lastly, this is my last slide. We just want to, you know, share a couple like business wins. As you see on here, there are different types of modules, right? So there's on the top left, you have Boohoo and Auchan. You know, one is apparel retail. Auchan is a retail, it's a supermarket chain. They, you know, wanted their own customized program. Auchan, being in retail, they really care, and in the food retail, they really care about animal welfare. So, you know, this is something that they've developed with help of Veritas. And then on the right, you see that there's PepsiCo and Accor. So they used our standard module that I just showed you, but they added some specific client customizations for, you know, either is industry specific or it's just, you know, internal policy wise, you know, there's some topics that is really important to them. And then Disney, they used off-the-shelf modules, so they, you know, they didn't change anything. They just use our standard modules. So you can see that it's quite flexible. You can do it, you could run clarity in different business models. So this is my last slide. Thank you very much. I believe we don't have, well, I won't be here for the FAQ, but please, you know, contact our Portugal sales team for any questions or any inquiries about clarity. So thank you again for your attention.